And you had a witness.
Yes, absolutely.
What do you recall about that?
I get freaked out every time I think about that one. It was at a house in Oklahoma, and I was helping a friend of mine move. And I was in the one bedroom, and she was in the kitchen. For me to get from the bed to the front door would have entailed going down, cutting across, down, cutting across, very winding way. Well, as I said, she was in the kitchen, straight line, kitchen, living room, front door. No door in between, no wall in between. Well, she was reading and doing her own thing in the kitchen, and I'm sound asleep. And her youngest son gets up screaming and goes to the front door trying to get out. This is 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. She jumps up, starts to run to get him. I hear the scream, and I remember raising up on one shoulder, in the mind, seeing the kid, reaching toward the door, and I'm at the door. She said that I came through the wall in front of her, and all she could do was just stop and say, whoa. And I think, whatever I did, if I had froze inside that wall, that would have been fun. My grandfather, my mom's mom, was a full-blood Cherokee, and he gave me the name of Gray Feather.
Gray Feather?
Yeah. Uh-huh. And I asked him once, I said, Pops, what does Gray Feather mean? And he said, you're a tween man. And he had an accent, and I said, a what? He said, you walk between worlds. And this is before I knew anything about anything. I saw 9/11 2 weeks before it happened. I put it up on some bulletin boards on the net, was laughed at. I lived in Delaware at that time, right on the eastern shore, walking distance to the beach. I had a trip planned to Boston. A couple of days before the trip, because we were going to drive it, I get a phone call. And it's the metallic, digitized voice. It says, postpone your trip. 2-day window, plus or minus 1 day, wherever, here, or here. It's going to be something big happening in New York. You don't be caught in it.
Now, have you had other premonitions that haven't come true yet?
Yeah. I've seen this country almost split in half. I mean, physically split in half. Again, I lived in Delaware, and I just laid down, and it's one of those times where 1 minute I'm here, next minute I'm here, okay? And I'm looking down on the United States. This is before I knew about the super volcano and all this and that, but I saw that area all going up into Canada, coming all the way down into Mexico. The whole western part of the country split off from the rest of the United States. And what I'm seeing is like a river of fire coming all the way down.
Wow. And did you have a timeline for that?
Soon.
Mm-hmm.
Very soon.
So are you making any plans for yourself and your family because of what you're dreaming or seeing? Yeah?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Are you finding a safe place?
There's really not going to be a safe place. The best preparedness that I know of is to be able to be mobile. Mm. There is no one safe place. Okay. I started to go public when I lived in Delaware, after an attempt was made on my life.
So when was that, approximately?
About 2002. I was out for a jog. I mean, I'd had other things happen before, but I didn't, at that time, never made the connection. Okay? Now I make the connection. I was out for a jog, and it's in the wintertime, and I hear a motorcycle. Motorcycle. You ever been on the East Coast in the wintertime when the wind blows? It's frigid.
I have, actually.
And I'm out jogging, and I hear a motorcycle, and I start, the ears go up, hairs start standing up, one of those. So I go from a hard run just to a light jog, and I see the motorcycle. Solid black. No insignia, just solid black. 2 riders dressed in black. Black OPEC face mask. I'm going this way, they're coming this way. This thing is going so slow, I'm trying to understand how in the world it's staying up. And as it comes up to me, I'm running scenarios. Okay, I'm wearing ankle weights and wrist weights. Like, okay, I'm waiting to see a gun. So I'm thinking this was coming off, this is going to throw, forward row, kick the back wheel, try to get an advantage. All this is playing out in my mind. The guy does open his coat, puts his hand in his coat. This is the rider. All I see are 2 fingers. Points them at me and goes like this. And goes back. And I'm thinking, okay, this is just a warning. Okay? And they slowly go on down the road, going towards Route 1 to go north. I didn't make it 10 steps. I had puke, bile, everything. I had to crawl home. I was sick for 3 days. I finally got to the doctor and said I had some kind of unknown viral infection. He did shoot me, just not with a gun. I think half the people who hear what I have to say look at it and say, what a lying stack of dung. This is so much BS. There is no way any of this could happen, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, I'll give a response that I gave a guy on a radio show one night. I wish that were true. I'd love to be able to take a pill every day and have a nice life. But I can't, because it did happen. And I don't have the whole story myself. And I may never get it. What happened to me, you know, I know, I told about how they split the personality. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Okay? I remember the beatings, to being thrown naked into a refrigerator room because I couldn't get something right. You know, this went on, and not just to me, but to all of us that were in this particular group. And this stuff shouldn't happen. You know, we consider ourselves a civilized, free society. There's nothing civilized about this. There's nothing free about this. There is strength in numbers. I would like to see, I mean, come on. You can have a 1,000,000-man march on Washington put together by somebody that the government laughed at. Why couldn't we do the same thing? This stuff has got to stop. You know, people, and like I said, we're supposed to live in a civilized, free society. We don't. When they can walk in, take you as a child, turn you into a killer, and then use you, abuse you, and when they're done, throw you away. It shouldn't happen. And you asked earlier, what is the one thing that I would like to see come of this and any subsequent movies, videos, whatever? I want to sit in a chair just like this in Washington, D.C., in front of the full Senate and demand answers. I'd do it in a heartbeat. I ain't shy.